Sir Alcaster and Sir Mythos my ship.
Wait a few minutes after I leave. We should not be seen together.
Oh my god, we are together.
Later that day, as I'm waiting outside the throne room for Emmeline to finish one of her classes, 2 maids walk towards me and stop in front of me. Oh boy, we're about to get the anime schoolgirl treatment.
Oh boy.
Elion, isn't it?
What? I've already finished my tasks for the day. Oh, I'm sure you have. Probably rushed through all of them so you could hang around with the prince and princess tonight. The head housekeeper has been giving you a lighter load so you can even afford the time to play around. I blink at them, confused. I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't play dumb. All the servants know what you've been doing.
Just because you're Princess Emmeline's personal maid doesn't mean you're better than the rest of us.
You know, when people say that, it's usually because they feel inferior.
Yeah.
I'd be careful not to get too big for your boots, Elion.
Are you threatening me?
What if we are?
Then I can just report you, and you'll be fired.
Okay, is this gonna be Emmeline or Rod? Let's take a bet.
I vote either Rod or maybe one of the parents.
I'm voting Rod or Emmeline still, so let's do
Emmeline!
one.
You got it!
I was right!
Then I'd be very disappointed in you.
I was fucking right.
Princess Emmeline? Emmeline moves to stand beside me, a disapproving expression on her face. I did not expect such petty cruelty from the 2 of you. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Your Highness.
Really do have a talent for getting yourself into trouble.
Rod. Rod pauses briefly, his eyes meeting mine for a second before he looks at the maids.
Don't you have better things to do than bully my sister's maid?
We apologize, Your Highness. We'll be on our way.
The 2 maids run off. Emmeline turns to look at me. Are you okay? I'm about to answer when I notice that Rod is abruptly walking away from us. I frown at his back. He'd only just started being nice to me, and now he's back to acting as if I don't exist. What do I do? Emmeline. Aww! Emmeline puts her hands on my back and gently pushes me forward.
Go,
You wanted
Elion.
to ask him
Love
something,
him.
right? I could see it in your eyes. Emmeline smiles as she pushes the door to the throne room open. I have a few more questions to ask my teacher. I'll be a while. But...
Wink.
Okay, bye, love you.
Wink.
But she disappears into the throne room before I can finish. I glance down the hallway. Rod has just disappeared down. And then back at the throne room. My thoughts whirl together in a vague mess until I make my decision. Wait! At the sound of my approaching footsteps, Rod turns and looks at me. He scowls, but does not say anything. I mean, I don't want to, be mean, but, what is saying nothing gonna do?
The only thing that's saying nothing, I feel like, is here's the thing. It worked when he was outside the shop because he was just standing there.
Yeah.
And instead of us forcing him. But in this case, we've deliberately tracked him down. We've deliberately run after him and said, wait. And then to just stand there and say nothing would be strange, I
Yeah.
feel. I'm still gonna save.
The words spill out of me before
try.
I can even think on them. What have I done to make you angry with me now?
Nothing.
He turns away and I glare as I follow closely behind him. You expect me to believe that? You can at least look at me when I'm talking to you. Oh! I reach out a hand to his elbow and pull him back so he's facing me. Rod! But the words die in my throat when I see the expression on his face. Ah!
Oh god, please. Yes! Oh!
His face is red! I refuse to look me in the eye!
Oh!
My surprise. What?
Rod will remember that! I will remember that!
My surprise causes me to release him. Rod quickly turns around and begins to walk away. Oh, no you don't! I'm left to stare dumbly after him. What is wrong with him? Normally he's not so afraid to speak his mind. I frown as I feel a dull ache throbbing somewhere deep in my kokoro.
Oh my god.
What is this?
Have I ever squealed this much before? I'm so weak to tsundere. It's the moment they do that.
Why do I feel so sad? Normally Rod's distance does not make me feel like this. And yet now, am I really so sad he doesn't want to speak to me?
I want to fuck him up.
I shake my head and take a deep breath to still my mind. It is better not to think about it.
Elion, please. The ball! You know we gotta dance with him. We gonna dance.
But we're Maid.
We have to, though. And here, look. No, so take us to the kitchen or like a side hall or something, and we'll dance. We'll have a secret dance, exactly.
So cute. It is the day of the ball, and I'm waiting for Emmeline to finish her last dance rehearsal. The lesson was over an hour ago, but Emmeline remains here to continue practicing the steps. Meanwhile, I'm preoccupied with thoughts of Rod's curse. I cannot believe that Rod traded his voice for a title. So the reason the king was able to find Ophelia was because of Rod. It is a little difficult to wrap my head around the implications, but one thing bothers me. Rod told me why he has the curse, but he gave no explanation as to how to break it.
We know, it's to kill Viorica.
How did it go in the original fairy tale? Emmeline finishes up the last steps of her routine before walking over to me. I hand her the glass of water I was holding for her. Thank you, Elion. Emmeline must notice my curiosity because she stops to look at me quizzically. Is something the matter? I read a little bit of that fairy tale but never finished it. Can you tell me the whole story of the Little Mermaid? The Little Mermaid? Emmeline takes a seat on one of the chairs bordering the throne room and gestures for me to take the one opposite her. Telling a fairy tale is always a good way to wind down. Once upon a time, there was a mermaid that fell in love with a handsome prince. One day, when she swam to the surface of the ocean to find him, she saw that the prince was celebrating his birthday on the grandest ship in the kingdom. The little mermaid was captivated by the human party and stayed to watch. And then suddenly a violent storm hit, and the prince was thrown from the ship into the ocean. The little mermaid saved the prince and took him safely to shore, but she could not stay long. She eventually had to return to the ocean and leave him on land. That is similar to Viorica's rescue. The little mermaid was so in love with the prince that she went to see a witch, who offered to trade her a potion that would turn the mermaid's tail into legs. They struck a deal. The mermaid would sacrifice her beautiful voice for legs so that she could live with the prince on land. So in Rod's case, he traded away his voice to become a prince. However, the sea witch gave the little mermaid a warning, and said that if she wasn't able to make the prince fall in love with her, there would be consequences.
Oh no!
Consequences. Yes, namely, if the prince fell in love and married someone else, the mermaid's heart would break and she would dissolve into sea foam.
Rod, you're not allowed to dissolve!
I cannot help but recoil. My expression must betray my horror, as Emmeline quickly shakes her head. There's no need to be worried. Rada said that his curse is different from the fairy tale.
Oh, thank God.
And you believe him?
Oh, thank no God. Damn it.
No God!
No God, there is no God.
Emmeline shrugs helplessly as she puts down her now empty glass of water. The fairy tale curse always twists the original fairy tale, right? Besides, it's not as if Rod traded his voice for legs, and I've never heard of a cursed person that dies because they cannot break their curse.
Okay,
That may be true, but Emmeline does not know what Rod traded his voice for. She does not know that he did it to become a prince for Viorica. Rod is already hiding things from her. Is it possible that Rod will die the day Viorica marries Desmond?
No! Don't say that, Elion.
Later that day, I find Rod in the dining hall. He appears to be inspecting the seating arrangements for the night's banquet.
Look, we'll fix his heart. He can't die if we're there to love.
He glances up briefly to look at me before returning his attention to the placards with the guests' names on them.
What is it?
I've been looking for you all morning. I'm distracted from what I'm about to say when I noticed Rod switching the position of two placards. I frown as I catch the name on one of them. He is moving Viorica's place at the
Oh.
table. Is he trying to make sure she sits as far away from him as possible?
Surely you have better things to do than staying here.
What happens if you cannot break your curse? Rod's movements stutter before he shakes his head sharply.
That is something you do not need to know.
Rod!
Rod!
Please! Rod, please!
What's
Some-
gonna work with him?
I think getting angry is just gonna get us in a fight.
I feel like we have to plead and be like, you are important to me, Rod! I have to know!
Something aches deep in my chest at Rod's coldness. Please! Rod startles so strongly, he almost drops the placard he's holding. Please tell me. We've been partners for months now.
But I've barely...
Yes, I know it's an unusual partnership and that most of our helping has been subtle, but I'm only one good deed away from breaking my curse, while you seem to be no closer to breaking your curse than when we started. I'll do whatever I can to help you with your curse, Rod. Please, let me help you.
Rod will remember that.
Silence falls. Moments later, Rod sighs and looks away from me. Some unspeakably sad emotion shines through his eyes.
Even if I wanted your help, Elion, there's nothing you can do.
Dread settles in the pit of my stomach at Rod's words. Could I be right? Will Rod actually die if he does not manage to break his curse? Emmeline told me the story of the little mermaid. She said the mermaid dies if the prince marries someone else. Rod, when Viorica marries Desimond, will you...
Damn it!
My voice trails off when I hear the sound of the door behind us. Ah! Is it Ophelia or the king? Rod rushes forward and grabs me before I can glance back at the door. Oh! I become aware of a weight holding me down to the floor. The impact of the ground against my head blurs my vision, making it impossible for me to see what's happening at first. Am I underneath the dining table? I struggle to try and sit up, but the weight pushes down on me again, forcing me to be still.
Quiet.
This is a far more compromising position than just the two of you standing there arguing.
Seriously, Rod, what if they look under the table?
Rod, why did he push me underneath the table? I'm about to ask him aloud when the sound of footsteps silences me. Uh-oh.
Oh.
I cannot help but remember what Sir Mythos was saying about rumors. If Rod and I were seen alone together by the servants, the rumors will no doubt get worse. Why is Rod doing this? I stay quiet as the people that enter the dining room begin to talk.
The danger music makes me feel like it's Mythos. How strange for this place to be empty at this time of day.
There's a pause and then another voice speaks up. Do you think maybe Alcaster?
It's gotta be Alcaster.
We've seen them together.
Yeah.
You better have good news for me, Mythos. Sir Alcaster and Sir Mythos. Rod's hands tighten on my shoulders.
Everything is as you requested, Sir Alcaster. There should be no issues.
There better not be. You've disappointed me before, Mythos. I would be careful not to try my patience again.
Yes, Sir Alcaster.
Sir Mythos sounds oddly subservient.
Sir Mythos is a fucking sub.
But why? The two of them are both ranked equally. And
I'm sorry.
and neither of them should have to answer to anyone other than the king. Unless Sir Alcaster truly is the witch, and is forcing Sir Mythos to obey him with a spell.
Elion, you're such an idiot.
Elion.
Elion, you're an idiot. Second of all, oh yes, Sir Alcaster and Sir Mythos, my ship.
Wait a few minutes after I leave. We should not be seen together.
Oh my god,
love.
we are together.
I do not hear Sir Mythos respond, but I can hear Sir Alcaster leaving the room. Sir Mythos sighs out, but is otherwise silent when he leaves the room after a few moments. I exhale fully as the door finally closes behind Sir Mythos.
Oh, this is bad.
This is bad, I have a boner.
Yeah, exactly.
I was so engrossed in Sir Alcaster and Sir Mythos' conversation that I only just now realized that Rod is hovering over me.
I can't let my boner touch her. Hey, are you alright? Are you hurt? You look a little...
Rod suddenly pauses as he notices our positions. He stares at me for a few moments, eyes wide. He scrambles out from underneath the dining table, and by the time I do the same, he's standing far away from me, his gaze fixed on the wall.
I literally just he literally just scrambled out of it, oh god, I did that, oh god.
He's bright red. It would be funny if I weren't sure I was the same color. Rod clears his throat.
It seems like Sir Alcaster really is the witch if he has the ability to make Sir Mythos obey him. No, Rod! Sir Mythos is the witch. Sir Alcaster is just a fucking doll.
Have you considered that maybe Sir Alcaster is controlling him? Because he has all the swords in the fucking castle!
Yeah, Lady Parfait should be told immediately.
Rod turns on his heel to leave the dining room. Rod, wait!
What? This is urgent. Princess, I can't just...
Kiss him! Kiss him! Kiss him! Oh, damn it. When Viorica marries Desimond, will you die? That's not a no. Rod pauses for a moment, but I can tell from his pained expression that he will not speak.
Sebi, please talk. No! No!
You're running out of time, Rod.
My eyes flit between Sebi and Rod. What does that mean?
Nothing.
He turns away from me once again and starts walking away.
Rod, you fucking...
Rod!
No!
There must be something in my voice that makes Rod stop, because he turns to look at me. Please, stop running away from this.
What would knowing the answer achieve, Elion?
The Rod's words are harsh, his tone is soft.
There's nothing anyone can do. Leave it alone, Elion. It's for the best.
Because either he dies or Viorica dies. I cannot help but get mad at Rod's dismissive tone. I move toward him, frowning. How can you say something like that? You're not the only person that will be affected if you keep refusing to do anything to break your curse. Can you imagine what your death will do to your sister? To your mother? Losing you would destroy them! Rod's face is suddenly inches away from mine. He places his hands to the wall behind me, caging me in. His face is flushed with anger, but the look in his eyes is tormented.
My family has been dealing with the consequences of my actions for the majority of my life. Don't think that I don't know what effect my curse has on the people closest to me. Besides, I don't want to involve you in this too.
His voice is a whisper, but I can still hear his words. Rod! Rod pushes away from me and stalks off as I stare after him.
Come back!
He says that, but then he still does nothing to try and break his curse. I don't understand him at all. What is stopping him?
Viorica, I'm sorry, you gotta die, girl. You're gonna die, baby.
Emmeline didn't tell her the rest of the fairy tale. Rod is absent from the palace for the rest of the day, and returns only once the sun is set to prepare for the ball. I have not been able to talk to him since, but I assume he's been to the Martian to tell Delora and Parfait about our suspicions of Sir Alcaster being a witch. I hope they come up with an effective plan for dealing with him. The palace is not safe so long as he's here. The ball is just about to start that evening, and I've been asked to make sure none of the guests are lost and wandering the hallways. I've been walking around for a while, directing any late guests in the right direction. That should be everyone. But as I turn the corner, I notice two people lingering by a column.
Fucking Alcaster and Mythos, huh?
Excuse me, the throne room is... Pause when I look more closely at the two men in front of me. I recognize one of them instantly.
Is that Fritz?
Is that fucking...
That Fritz?
Wolf! Wolf!
It's Fritz. It's Fritz.
He has the wolf on his cane. It's totally Fritz.
It's Fritz. Well, it's the same skin tone, same eye color as
It's just
Alcaster. His hair is a different color. And he has
This has
wolf
to be
face.
somehow related to his curse, then.
Oh god, no! I hate stories where they're fucking cursed and only the true root gets to be happy. No!
What is Sir Alcaster doing outside the throne room? Who is that man he's with? Ah, Elion. Sir Alcaster gestures me towards him, and I approach warily. This is Varg. The hell kind of name is Varg? He's one of the guests for the ball. Varg sweeps aside his cape as he bows, and I curtsy and dip my head to hide my expression. I've not heard of a Varg. Why would he be bowing to a mere maid?
'Cause he's Fritz.
Also, why is he wearing such an elaborate costume and mask?
'Cause he's Fritz.
This is not a masquerade ball.
'Cause he's Fritz.
Oh my god, Fritz disappeared!
Yeah,
Fritz
that's what I've been
disappeared because he turned into this guy because of his curse!
That's what I've been saying! Do you think this is like his werewolf side? Or not his werewolf, his wolf side?
Probably. There's a wolf on his cane? If Varg is an acquaintance of Sir Alcaster, there's no telling what or who he truly is. Varg is one of the suitors for Princess Emmeline. Would you please escort him to the throne room? I will be along shortly.
I don't trust you.
Varg's politeness is even more suspicious. Of course, Sir Alcaster. I meet Varg's gaze briefly, and cannot help but frown at the way he's smirking at me. This way. You better keep your hands to yourself, boy. Varg and I make our way towards the throne room. I cannot help but feel wary of the fact he's following behind me where I cannot see him.
If the maids are this lovely, the princess must be truly beautiful.
Varg laughs, and I grit my teeth at the sound.
What? It was meant as a compliment. There's no need to look at me like that.
Varg looks at me curiously.
Are maids not allowed to speak in this palace?
I have nothing to say.
Not the most cheerful person on staff, are you?
Thankfully, the doors to the throne room appear as soon as we turn a corner, and I do not have to come up with a response to his words. We are here. I gesture toward the throne room and move to leave, but Varg's voice stops me.
You should at the very least escort me inside and introduce me to the princess, don't you think? Isn't that what a maid should do?
Technically, that is the announcer's job. But Varg came so late, he probably already missed the introductions.
I wouldn't want to think badly of any of the servants at the palace.
I take a deep breath to calm myself down before turning towards the doors. Follow me. I can tell, the moment I step into the room, that the official introductions have already passed. Most of the guests have already begun to mingle and scatter across the throne room as the band sets up. No one notices when I walk into the throne room in front of Varg. I do not trust Varg, not if he is associated with Sir Alcaster. I might have time to warn someone about him while he's distracted, but who?
Ooh.
So he's here as a suitor.
Yeah. So it's Emmeline, right?
Yeah. If he's here as a suitor and working with Alcaster somehow, that sounds like a bid for power.
Yeah.
I think we should warn Emmeline.
Okay. That's what I was thinking, honestly. Warn Emmeline.
My attention is quickly drawn to where Emmeline is moving between groups of people, introducing herself and making light conversation. I know this will be frowned upon, but Emmeline's safety must come first. I make my way quickly over to Emmeline and curtsy just off to the side, trying to draw as little attention to myself as possible. Princess Emmeline, may I have a word? Emmeline is clearly shocked at my intrusion, but she masks it well. Excuse me, it appears my maid has something for me. I draw her closer to the walls where the crowd blocks us from view. I wasn't expecting you to be here, Elion. Not that I mind, but won't that get you into trouble? There's no time for that. I take her hand in mine and look at her somberly. You have to watch out for the man in the mask. Sir Alcaster brought him to the ball. Why should I be worried, then? I cannot exactly tell her I think he is a witch right now. There are too many people looking. Just, please be wary of him. I'm sure there's nothing to be worried about from anyone here, Elion. Especially if Sir Alcaster is involved.
No, we fucked up. She's naive. Oh, Rod, thank God. On the contrary, if Sir Alcaster is involved, I would also recommend staying on your guard, Emmeline.
Rod? I turn in shock to see Rod standing behind me.
You should trust Elion. Rod will remember that. And excuse me.
I jump back at the sound of Varg's voice. Rod takes a step forward and places his hands on my shoulders to steady me.
I don't believe we've been introduced.
Varg looks at me for a few moments, but I say nothing. He eventually turns to Emmeline, a wolfish smile on his face.
My name is Varg, and you must be Princess Emmeline. Tales of your beauty did not do you justice.
Emmeline flushes as Varg reaches for her hand. He presses a kiss to the back of it. Still grinning. I can feel Rod tense behind me.
May I have the first dance?
Emmeline bites down on her lower lip as she stares at him. I become acutely aware of just how quiet the throne room has become. She cannot refuse him with so many people watching her.
Ah!
I feel sick but cannot bring myself to say anything more as Emmeline puts her hand in Varg's. I accept, Lord Varg. The moment Emmeline makes her way to the center of the dance floor, a man signals to the band and the musicians start playing.
This feels wrong.
I can only nod as I watch Varg pull Emmeline closer. At first it is just he and Emmeline dancing, but then other couples gradually trickle in to join them. I do not like this at all. Rod and I watch in silence as the first dance continues on. I know for a fact that Rod must see the dreamy smile on Emmeline's face as certainly as I can. When the music stops, both of us move as one toward Emmeline. Even though the dance is over and Varg has released her, they still stand close together in the center of the room. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
The silence is interrupted when the double doors open, and Sir Alcaster along with 2 knights stalk into the center of the room where Emmeline and Varg stand.
Oh no.
Their arrival causes an uneasy stir in the crowds. The king rises from his throne, eyebrows drawn.
Alcaster! Is there some kind of disturbance?
Alcaster says nothing as the knights stationed around the room approach Emmeline and Varg. Oh god, don't hurt her.
No!
And stand around them, encircling them. Emmeline's expression shifts from confusion to fear. The crowd becomes even more anxious.
Alcaster! Explain this!
Alcaster briefly glances at him but says nothing. No.
No. Bad.
He turns back to his knights and snaps his fingers. The knights pull out their swords and point them at Emmeline. I reach out to grab Rod's hand before he can make his way toward her. Rod, it's too dangerous!
I know, but...
Thoughtless actions have the potential to put Emmeline in even more danger. Rod's only response is to tighten his grip on my hand. I place my other hand over his to reassure him, and slowly but surely his grip begins to loosen. I turn my gaze back to the king.
Sir Alcaster, stop this immediately! What do you think you are doing?
Something I should have done a long time ago. I have been nothing but loyal to this kingdom, and all I've ever wanted was for Angiel to thrive. But ever since the queen died, this kingdom has become weak. It is because you are a weak ruler, Gennaro.
What?
The people were more productive back then, more disciplined during the late queen's reign. The kingdom has become less productive without fear to drive them. When there is power, there is order.
Power is not something that should be needlessly used to control people. It is used to protect them. You, of all people, should know that.
Sir Alcaster shakes his head. I, of all people, know that order is what makes a hierarchy stronger. I am only doing what's necessary. I am reorganizing the system. Hand over the crown, Gennaro. Sir Alcaster turns his head to Varg. He remains standing beside a scared Emmeline. You will obey me if you do not want your precious daughter harmed.
Please, leave my daughter out of this!
Emmeline steps back, her eyes now brimming with tears. Varg, seize the princess. As soon as Sir Alcaster gives the order, Rod immediately lets go of my hand and rushes towards his sister. Rod, no! I quickly follow after him, but Rod suddenly stops in his tracks. I bump abruptly into his back. Rod! Varg! Sir Alcaster's booming voice echoes around the room, which has suddenly gone eerily silent. My eyes move to Varg, but he's standing motionless. What's happening?
Is he refusing?
Finally, Varg smirks. He steps to the side, standing in front of Emmeline as if to block her from view. Sir Varg!
You must be delusional, old man. I'm not letting you anywhere near the princess.
Ugh!
Oh shit.
The knight's next movements are a blur as they rush at Sir Alcaster!
Holy shit!
In mere moments, he's been disarmed and pinned to the ground. Several more knights have also appeared from behind to surround Sir Alcaster. A man emerges from in between the circle of knights. He moves to stand beside Varg and Emmeline.
If it's Sir Mythos and he's actually a good guy, I'll eat my shorts. Oh,
Sir
fuck.
Mythos looks at Sir Alcaster disdainfully.
Well, time to grab some shorts. Tasty.
What is the meaning of this, Mythos? We had a deal. The anger is now palpable in Sir Alcaster's flushed face.
Alright, I can't eat the shorts right now. Did we now? Mythos, explain yourself.
Sir Mythos drops to one knee in front of the king.
Of course, your majesty. I can't believe it, he's a good guy. I can't believe it.
He raises his head slightly to look at the king.
I've known for a long while that the man you see before you is a traitor. I was even aware of his plans, but I could not tell you of them without any evidence. 2 of your knights had tried to inform you of these plans before, but we all looked down on them with disdain.
Jurian and Garland.
I had to make sure that I did not come unprepared like they did. Jurian and Garland.
What? Both of them knew of Sir Alcaster's plans. Was that the reason why they were dishonorably discharged? For false accusations?
I knew enough of his plan that I could thwart it. That is why I thought the best way to reveal his dastardly ways was to craft a fake alliance with him. I cannot believe it. I can't. Sir Varg and I have been working together to unravel Alcaster's plans. Your Majesty, Varg is an invaluable accomplice.
Wait, so Sir Mythos has been pretending to work with Sir Alcaster this whole time?
And so we arrive at the event of tonight. I apologize for undertaking this task without seeking your counsel, Your Majesty. But I could think of no better way to end this madness once and for all.
You lying snake! You bastard! You lying bastard!
People, I have a big announcement!
You lying snake! Sir Mythos stands and turns to Alcaster. He gestures at him dismissively.
Seize him.
The knight's next movements are a blur. The men rush Sir Alcaster all at once, and in mere moments Sir Alcaster has been disarmed, and is now pinned to the ground. Oh, Elyon. Isn't Sir Alcaster a witch? Why is he not using his magic?
Okay, Mythos is clearly a witch, but he's a good witch, right? Right?
That seems to be the case so far.
Huh. Ah, my shorts. Mythos, I am indebted to you for saving us. The whole kingdom is. I only did what was necessary, Your Majesty.
Unless
he did this so he could have the power for himself.
he's little fingering it.
I don't know. I'm unsure. It's a good thing I didn't fully eat my shorts yet.
The king glances at the knights and then at Sir Alcaster, his gaze steely.
Take him away.
Sir Alcaster struggles uselessly against the knights as they drag him away. He is nearly out the door when he starts screaming at the king. Gennaro, you are a fool! That man is a witch! A snake! You cannot trust him!
No, Alcaster. I was wrong to put my trust in you.
Even as Sir Alcaster is pulled from the room, we can hear him babbling in the hallways about a witch.
Alright, so either Sir Mythos is a good witch, or he's a bad witch. We'll find out.
Sir Alcaster never used any magic to escape. Was he truly not a witch?
Of course not. Are you alright, Princess?
I am pulled from my thoughts when I hear Varg's voice. He's now trying to comfort a shaking Emmeline. For a few moments he looks away, and his eyes meet mine. He smiles, but it's fleeting, and moments later his attention is back on Emmeline.